So just a quick video in relation to the wearables and the potential uses for the the information that you get on it, and then where not to really spend too much time kind of focusing. First of all, they can be wildly inaccurate. A quick Google here has just brought us up to wearable devices can have up to a 20% error in measuring heart rate and up to 100% error in measuring calories burned. So, and I've read another article that said it was between 20. It can also have between 20 and 80% inaccuracy. The other thing is that it's done off your basal metabolic rate is already predetermined on the watch based off of your weight, uh, weight, age, and just I think that's it for the data. So your basal metabolic rate is already kind of set, but even your calories, even the amount of calories you burn in a day, even your maintenance calories, it kind of fluctuates. It's not like a dead spot on number, which would kind of make sense when you think about it. You're not going to be, you know, 2,700 calories per day. Eating under 2,700 calories per day, I will be losing weight. Anything over 2,700 calories per day, I'm going to be gaining weight. That it wouldn't make sense. It fluctuates. So many things that contribute to our metabolism. Bear in mind, our metabolism is the sum of all our chemical reactions in our body. It's not anything just to do with weight loss or the way people talk about broken metabolisms and things like that. It's not it's not that what people are you kind of hear people saying. It's an oversimplification of it. um so yeah, there's a far more accurate ways that we can track our progress. um the ways that I do it, if there was a better way to do it, I would already be using it. If I thought the watches was something that uh, something that was super important in terms of calories, then I'd be using it. But it can be useful for things like resting heart rate, even things like heart rate variability and things like that, just for seeing a trend, even if it's inaccurate and it's consistent over a period of time. Whether we're seeing, the heart rate kind of coming down, then it looks like, we're getting those conditioning type benefits and those cardiovascular adaptations as well. Something again that the watch doesn't take into account, the fact that that a bout of exercise today that would burn 300 calories, if you do that same bout of exercise in 3 weeks' time, you won't burn 300 calories. Your body will adapt to it as well. So there's a whole host of things like that isn't being considered by the watch. But things like standardizing step counts and keeping an eye on general daily activity and a reminder, or even setting goals around general daily activity can be really, really good. The thing that people develop, I would say, bad relationships with food around, can be around some of the stuff of wearables, around this kind of earning the right to eat by the amount of calories that you've expended in a day. Um, you know, Exercise isn't a punishment for eating, and food isn't a trophy for working out. You're eating as part of being a human. You've earned the right to eat by being a human being and needing the energy and the nourishment in order to sustain life and thrive. When you set a caloric level that you're adhering to for whatever your goal is, either fat loss or muscle gain, or weight loss or weight increase, let's just say for simplistic terms, then we just assess and then adjust our variables based off of that. So, if we're trying to lose half a kilo a week and we've, got a few weeks in and we're not really hitting those numbers, then we're not going to say, oh, let's, you know, do something on the watch. Let's let the watch guarantee our kind of we'll just reduce our calories by, you know, 10% or something like that, 200 calories, say 250 calories, and then just retest again in a couple of weeks. Even when we look at tracking calories, that in and of itself isn't accurate, but the level of consistency becomes our accuracy over a period of time. So yeah, I just want to make sure that we're not putting too much emphasis on the wearables, and we're definitely not putting um, too much emphasis on this kind of earning the right to eat, because when people do these have these behaviors, have these thoughts, it's never about eating more fruits and vegetables, or even more complex carbohydrates or things like that. It's about eating, eating rubbish, or going out and having a Macca's, or going out and having a burger, or something like that. Like, you can have that as part of the 80-20 split that I preach to everybody, that 80% of your food's minimally processed, nutritionally dense, high protein fruits and vegetables, filled with the micronutrients that your body needs, trying to hit those recommended daily intakes as well, which you do by just eating a nice wide variety of fruits and vegetables, and lean meats in general. That will cover your bases. Uh, and then if you want to have an indulgence, then you have an indulgence. It's get absolutely nothing to do with exercise. You go and have that as part of your 20% discretionary calories, and you eat it and you enjoy it, and then you move on. Like, it's not attached to exercise in any way, and I've seen it become a kind of negative um, relationship to develop between this kind of punishing yourself for being, and I've actually been guilty of this myself during COVID, when I got pretty lean, and then as I was starting to increase my calories, the leanness was starting to disappear. So then, and we were in lockdown, so I was just like going into the gym and just like beasting myself, trying to expect it, and it was completely counterproductive. So I've walked a mile in these shoes as well, and I can assure you that it's not a path you want to go down.